Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Comics 30, episode 31. I'm here today with Technique and with my co-host, Nighthawk Plays, aka Matt. What's good, Matt? How are you doing? Good.
Happy Saturday, my man. Happy Saturday. Doing good. Fun tech stuff here at the beginning, but overall, another good week. 2022, solid so far. So I'll take it. I like how we're both rocking our Twitch hoodies. I just realized that.
Yeah, I mean, this is I got a thick boy one on.
Yeah,
right now,
that is.
It's a little cold outside. We had some snow last night, and throughout the day, it's gonna be some flurries here and there. Try to get my frame. Which way do I need to go? This way? Or that
You
way?
need to go to your screen. You're right.
Because I'm right in the middle of my frame here, so I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe you need to scooch me over a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's a little cold. So we had a little winter wonderland coming through. Mostly, as I said before, January, February, March is now the new winter. Even though the spring technically starts in March, but and then at the end of the day, I'm kind of happy that we did have a little bit of snow flurries and stuff like that. It's a little nice. It doesn't last long here in the southeast. But other than that, we had a lot of stuff come through. Hello, everybody. What's up? What's good? Zenna, Ron Rich, Love Mondays. Hey, Paul. What's up? Arfin and everybody else coming through. People lurking. Appreciate it. People that watch from different website. What's up? Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about, but there's a lot to talk about the very little we have to talk about. If that makes sense. So we'll definitely have enough to talk about. Today's show we're gonna be talking about Eternals. We're gonna be talking about the big features. There's some stuff in between, but Eternals movie started streaming last week, a week before last. We have Moon Knight. I think it was the 18th, maybe.
Yeah, it started on the 12th. It was the 12th that it came out.
Yeah, like last week. Moon Knight trailer, teaser trailer, and then trailer. And yeah. Those are the big news. There's really nothing like really huge that came out within the week that we did the show, which is always it's not only a bad thing, sometimes it's always a good thing that we don't have that much news in the comic world, because most of the time it's either drama or something released. So we'll get into that. Women's History Month stuff is coming up. Peacemaker, that I have not started watching that. But I did see the opening credits, and there's a lot to say about that. Yeah. Paul hooks us up with some information. Superman and Robin team up. That's interesting. Alice After Ever, Wonderland comic book series. People have this fetish about Alice being dark and evil and stuff like that. So I wonder what's going to spin up with that. Other than that, yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. I honestly kind of want to let's cover a big thing first, and then we can go in between with some other stuff. Have you watched
there we
Eternals
go.
yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Right. Straight through the end credit, mid credit, whatever you want to call it. I watched it after you sent us that message. That night I watched it. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I mean. Like you said, it's out on Disney Plus right now. They went through the daytime and everything like that. The theatrical now came out on the 12th. So for those of us who weren't able to go see it at the theater, we were able to see it now at home. So your thoughts?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, really good. It was a break between. People said it didn't feel like a Marvel film. I don't know where they got that from. It felt like a Marvel film, 100%. I guess if you're just starting off with Eternals, you're not going to know what the hell's going on or what the heck is going on. It's not one of those films where you could just start on that and be okay with everything. I feel like maybe a lot of people did that because there was a lot of actors and actresses that came from the outside realm inside. A lot of Game of Thrones, or a good bit of Game of Thrones cast was thrown in there. So maybe some Game of Thrones fans started with Eternals. And they were like, what the hell is this? This doesn't make sense. There's no Spider-Man in it. I could see that being a thing. Angelina Jolie, the goddess of action, is back. We haven't seen her do huge action roles for a while now. I mean, she's best known for Tomb Raider series, when it comes to her doing a lot of her own stunts and stuff, and she still got it, man. She still got it. She's still kicking butt. She's beautiful as ever. I mean, Salma Hayek was in there, just gorgeous as can be. These women don't age. I don't know what fruit they're eating, but I like it. Just a very diverse cast. It's one of the first Marvel movies I can say the whole cast was completely diverse. It felt like there was somebody from every ethnic background there could be, which is really, really nice. And it was great to see the Eternals being represented that way because based off the lore and the fiction behind them, they took on a trait or something of, you know, particular races that were created down below, because apparently the worlds were created by the Celestials and that and the other. And you kind of get a little bit of this sum up from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, about how Celestials kind of like create and destroy worlds so that other life can flourish and all that stuff. So Thanos theory on a bigger scale, on a galactic scale. So Thanos is not the only one that, that thinks that there needs to be death for life to happen. It is the circle of life, as we like to call it. Overall thoughts, the movie was great. Definitely sit down and watch it. Sit down and watch with an open mind. My expectations were hella low, but I came out very like, wow. The FSX, the freaking sound effects, the visual effects, they were amazing. Like the what do you call them? The deviants looked awesome. Those damn things look so cool. The fight scenes were great. Each character had their own kind of like personality, which was nice. It wasn't like a rehash of each person over and over and over again.
Yep.
It was good. But I know people that are comic enthusiasts probably don't like the movie. All I gotta say to you is, it don't matter. It's Marvel Studios universe. It has nothing to do with the comic book at the end of the day. If Spider-Man wanted to be a queer man, they could do that because it's Marvel Universe on the studio side. It's MCU. There's a comic book universe, there's a video game universe, and there's a movie universe. So people got to learn how to separate the two. Now, having the relationships between comics and the movies is a good thing, and it makes you feel some familiarity and stuff, and you know all that. But it's okay. That's great. But the Eternals that they installed, I liked it. I thought the corniness of it, like the back and forth and stuff, wasn't overdone. I thought it was great. The interactions between the characters were amazing. The iterations, how they dealt with like the human life and how they started breaking their secret promises and stuff as time went on is human of them. You know, they had a closer connection with humans because they sought to be human so much that they made mistakes humans make, and that's great. Like it was. I thought it was a brilliant film. I thought it was really, really fun. I thought it was great. I mean, the fight scenes were good. The locations were great. It wasn't a lot of jumping around and making you confused, which I thought they were going to do because there's so many characters in this cast. I was like, good Lord, they're going to do this. But
not just
I
that,
thought it was fantastic.
Not just that, but the span of time, right? Like obviously this movie is after Thanos, but they're around. What happened to the blip? Like there was a lot of question marks going into this movie as far as how much are they going to show? Like, is it going to be like half origin story and then they're just going to fast forward to today? I mean, the pacing of it for how much information they gave us was, I thought, really good. Like you said, I did have a couple of concerns going into it. Like this is a big jumble of a movie. It's a hero team up movie, but you know, no one knows these characters. But at the same time, it's kind of like a sports team going on in a movie. You're going to get a little bit to know about them, and then they're going to get into the big play at the end. So I think all the criticism that was out there for it was not deserved, and none of that showed through. The CGI was fantastic, not only just on the deviants, but the Celestials. I like their unique design. Is very comic book-esque, but it's modern and for today and for this universe that we're in the MCU. I gotta say, Icarus, I loved. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Superman fan, so there's a lot to go there. But the way they manifest their abilities and powers and everything, I could have been so corny, and the graphics could have been so bad. But the team, everybody, it just from start to finish, it nailed it.
I agree with you. Icarus was a better Superman than Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to say it. I mean, Henry Cavill is amazing. And if you just replace the actor, let's just not put him in it, because I think people are more attached to him than they are Superman when it comes to DCEU. But if you just take the character Superman and what DCEU done with Superman, Icarus was way better as Superman. And he went through all the drama Superman went through in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, did you
like literally? He started off robotic. He fell in love. He fell out of love. Then he became an asshole. And then he came back to not being an asshole. And furthermore, went to the sun. He lived up to his prophecy. And so it was like it's literally Superman. Like,
oh my god,
it literally is. It beat all of DCEU's story of Superman in 2.5 hours. And it wasn't even about him only. Yeah, I love, man. Every character was dope. Powers were dope.
There were so many. I forget all the names. I got to bring them up here. But the girl,
Athena was great. Athena was my favorite.
Oh yeah, she was amazing
because she was so flawed, and I loved it. And she was a badass, bro.
What's the speedster's name? Speedster name.
Goliathus.
What was
Gilgamesh?
Gilgamesh was dope. Yeah.
Oh, he was awesome. So he slapped Angelina Jolie down that ground. Was calm down. That shit was awesome, dude. My favorite was what's his name? What's the black guy's name? Start with a C. Not Cersei. Cersei was a girl. It was what was the black guy's name?
Kingo, the Bollywood.
No, the black guy, not the.
Listen, man. Star Fox, Black Knight,
Pathos,
Cersei,
yes.
Drugs, Athena, Gilgamesh. Oh, yep, Pathos. Yep.
He was awesome. I loved his character, and I love the fact that he was queer. I thought it was
relationship
great.
Too was
right,
cool with the kid
right.
and showing his humanity.
That was really important because when people hear queer, they don't think. A lot of people don't think that black people can be queer. Like for some, it's a stigma. Like people just don't think that. You know, when you think a black person, people automatically go thugged out. You know, angry black man syndrome. You know, that's what they kind of place it. But he was queer, and he wasn't like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to be careful here. He wasn't flamboyant, right? He was like a regular dude, you know, like, and it was just like that. And the relationship between him and his husband was fantastic. The son, the relationship with him and the son, oh, that shit was funny.
Like Superman?
It was so good, man. It was so good. And I love the way he was like modernized.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I'm here and I'm technical and I like science. He wasn't like that. It was just like, he was a straight up dude, man. Just like, did I tell you? But man, that fight, the end fight, I mean,
that was awesome.
A lot. Okay.
Yeah, that was
the fight with Icarus. Man, that shit was a baller.
When
the speedster.
That's what I was saying. When Makari goes off, that whole scene was awesome. I like so. I hope when they do speedsters, whether it's Flash, whether it's Makari or Quicksilver again, I hate that slow down for them to do like, nah, we're showing her go balls to the wall. Like that was awesome how they did that.
A couple of bits, but it wasn't like
every single time.
It wasn't that cheesy shit. Boy, she beat the shit out of Icarus.
Dude, that was awesome. This shows how strong she was. Like it was great.
She was deaf. I love that. Like I love the sign language. I loved all, man. It was
how they hit everything human, race, creed, culture, like you know, deaf, like all that stuff. The kid, like being a kid forever, right? Like literally, they hit so much.
How she gave
stuff.
up all her power to be human, all her power. That's so man,
powerful and crazy.
People were talking about this film was fantastic.
Yep.
There was a lot of elements that they put in that film. It was super deep. It was more of a reality check. I think it was more of a reality check for us.
Yeah, right.
To be like us as humans to understand that even superheroes or even Eternals, people with like power of almost having immortality, so to speak, are more human than we are.
Which is wild.
I don't think people really looked at the big message here. I think people were just coming off of a high of like Infinity Wars Endgame. They were coming off that high of having all the Avengers together and like all these big movies. Eternals was that it brings you back. It brings you back from all that and homes you in and say, hey, we're here, but there's a way bigger threat that's about to just absolutely destroy everything if we don't get our shit together.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Shang-Chi, came first in these new phases of movies that are coming out, phase 4, this really, if they go this route, because who knows after how great and how well No Way Home did and how they're bringing them in and everything, this really sets up the bigger picture for phase 4 and beyond. Like we are finally, even though we got off of World in phase 1, 2, and 3, like we're officially getting out there with the cosmic spectrum. Like hence Adam Warlock coming in, hence these Celestials. You know, I assume something's
Fox.
gonna go down. Star Fox, which was a great end credit scene, which we'll talk about too. Like, you know, you're gonna get Galactus at some point now. It's
You know you're gonna get
it's
Doom.
impossible. Doom. There's some great news and rumors out there. I don't know if you saw it about Doom, Doctor Doom.
Bro,
like,
the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, it's this I'm trying not to gush about it because like there are certain things, just like every movie, that you can pick apart, right? But I feel like the discussion we're having is I feel like the discussion we're having is something we're going to talk about later. How critics don't get and understand normal moviegoers or even us moviegoers. The reason I say that is we're going to talk about it a little bit, how the critics are panning the Batman movie by Matt Reeves for being almost 3 hours. Like, why are you like? Who cares? He's telling a story and it's going to be awesome.
2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes. If the movie's good and it has great pacing, nobody's going to feel it.
Who cares? Why did the Titanic need to be 3 hours? It hit an iceberg, it drowned. 5 seconds, we're done. He could have hopped on. Who cares?
If it's a good movie. Holy shit. That movie did not need to be that long. But like when it came to No Way Home, I thought the movie was short. I was like, the fuck? Like, I was so like, is there more? Like, you know, so it always depends on the pacing. I thought Eternals could have been a lot longer, but I didn't realize it was 2.5 hours. I didn't realize that.
For as much information they gave us, they did, like, because I didn't. Once again, going into it, I didn't think we were gonna have enough, just because of knowing everything that going on. But 2.5 hours, I'm like, oh, we're done.
Yeah,
like that was.
They did a fantastic job, and they did. Okay, I said they didn't bounce around. They did bounce around. They just did it correctly. There was a lot of flashbacks here and there, but they did it so well that you didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't like, oh God, I really want to know what's going on in present day, because you didn't care. You wanted to know more about the characters, because it's interesting to see how the timeline can work well when you figure it out. And MCU had to figure it out. A lot of these characters had to be introduced for us to like finally give in to them over time. The Eternals, we just got these characters. A lot of these people, these actors are coming from failures. Let's just be real. Angelina Jolie hasn't been in a big, you know,
honestly, the only
AAA movie, let's just say, in a long time.
The last like big budget action movie I can remember was Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt.
That's so long ago.
I know.
Right? Like, and then Kit Henderson hasn't been in shit since Game of Thrones. I mean, he's been in some little projects. Nobody care about those sprinkles, you know. So, and his like brother from another mother. I forgot his name, but the one that plays Icarus. He hasn't been in crap. Robert, I don't know.
Not his name. James Marsden. No, he's actually been in a couple of things. He was in a very good, what was it, Netflix or Amazon series, like a Bodyguard. But yeah, it's not been like a AAA Marvel.
You know, the girl playing Makari. The last thing she was in a couple of things, comic related as well.
I mean, when the hell was the last time Selma Hayek was in something?
Yeah. Dusk Till Dawn? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, she looks the same since then. I mean, God, this woman is hot.
Oh my God. Richard Madden was Game of Thrones. Richard Madden was a Game of Thrones, and he was Icarus. Yeah, I can't remember anything else he was in outside of The Bodyguard. That's what it was. The Bodyguard. That was
Maleficent. But that, I guess.
Well, with Angelina Jolie.
Remember those. People don't remember those movies though. Like, I didn't even remember it. Like, so it's just like, it was nice seeing Angelina Jolie in her element, because I felt like we got her in that movie, and I almost feel like the director was probably like, have fun with your character, because my dude that played the Bollywood boy, man, he was a treat. Like, he was the comic relief. Everyone had those moments.
Dude, he got. I mean, we talked like, dude, he did a complete transformation. I mean, he was a skinny. You know, comedic nerd like me, and he just turned into this. Like, he turned into this thing. Oh, sorry, jumping around. Did you notice that the last two Marvel movies has gotten straight on shout out DBZ references? Dragon Ball Z.
What do you mean?
So in Shang-Chi, at the end, after he destroys the big dragon, I forget the name. They're sitting down eating, and the girl, we keep on forgetting her name. I forget the actress's name. They're having that conversation.
Something weird. Hold on, now you got me. It's something weird. It's not a name. It's like,
it's like a weird
juice bottle or something.
Aquafina. Aquafina.
Yeah.
The Aquafina
Juice
water bottle.
I knew it was something with a bottle.
Yeah, when they're sitting down talking, he goes, "Yeah, he did this like Dragon Ball Kamehameha thing." And then remember when oh my God, what is his name now? The comedian. I'm blowing. Kumali goes against the Deviant. He straight up goes Kamehameha and holds it. Like they're
didn't say it though.
I know they didn't say it, but it's a reference. Like he's you know, he goes Hadouken also, I guess.
Lasers out of his fingers. I can only imagine him building up an orb that big, and you can only like do it some way, right?
But
like,
it's cool. Like they're going into it
and built it up too. Yeah,
they're like going into it.
Star Wars. Star Wars made more appearances. More. They had a Star Wars comic book or book in his hand. When they were trying to act like they weren't talking about what was going on in the dude's house, and but it's nice, and the little joke references for people that are nerds, like the vibranium things, like what is this table made out of? Vibranium, you know, and he broke it, you know, stuff like that is nice. Those are little nice touches. I don't know. I thought the movie was fantastic. I thought it was better than Shang-Chi, straight up, in every aspect. I felt Shang-Chi was too short, and I felt like that should have been a TV series, not a movie, because when you bring in something so important, like, you know, having Asian American actors have such a huge role in something and bring a huge... Shang-Chi is not a little character by far. This is a huge character. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He's actually a part of the Avengers. Like, there's a lot of things. Hell, he leads the Avengers and the San Francisco Avengers at some point, or the West Coast Avengers, I should say. So a TV series to be able to like really give those actors a ground root to kind of like develop who they are would have been smarter, in my opinion. I don't think a movie settled it. I felt like the movie was rushed. I felt like there was too many characters that just kind of got put in and pulled out way too fast. It was just not enough. And the visual effects was very Disney. It was very Disney. And I was okay with it. But the amount of like Rotten Tomatoes, the way they gave like Shang-Chi so much, I felt like they were just trying to answer the call of diversity instead of really answering the call of diversity in Eternals, because Eternals was a better movie overall. That I don't see Eternals, no way in the world should it be a TV series. Should have been a movie just like they did, and I think they did a fantastic job. Shang-Chi, TV series.
So yeah, when Shang-Chi, I watched it. I think I messaged you guys right away saying Shang-Chi may be my favorite or one of my favorite Marvel films, and you're like, what? And up until No Way Home and now Eternals, I do really like Eternals. I think I like it more than Shang-Chi now. Yeah. But what you just said actually rings very true. We said it too, like there was parts of Shang-Chi that they either skipped over, they didn't elaborate on enough. Yeah. There was filler that could have went back and forth. Eternals did not do that. Yeah, even though it was very culture driven, we didn't get a lot of culture. Where with Eternals, I like everything I just said about Shang-Chi, I can't say about Eternals. It is a very the director Chloe, whatever her name is, does an absolute amazing, fantastic job with it. And I hope they bring her back for I assume there's gonna be an Eternals too.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, they ain't gonna leave us like that.
Yeah,
like, there's just too much unanswered stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
there's a lot of by the way today.
Yeah, I fell in love with every character. I hated the boy that controlled minds. I wanted to kick him in his nuts, but I ended up liking him.
Druid.
Yeah, Druid.
And I like how they did the story differently, right? Like if you read the Eternals comics, it's different because you thought one thing about his character and it was different. And that was pretty cool. It made you guess.
Yeah, but I fell in love with every one of them. I thought Salma Hayek's character kind of got the shaft, but it's okay. Yeah. I understand. She did her role. She did what she was there to do. She was a mother figure, and then she bowed out like she was supposed to. Okay, understandable. But Shang-Chi did not have enough culture, I felt, because I felt like they played on the stereotypical stuff too much. And I understand that they were like, it's okay that we make jokes about this and do this our way. But I really feel like they could have expanded that in the TV series, had 6 episodes, and really dove into culture, really made us feel Shang-Chi. I didn't feel it. I was like, okay, this is a badass dude that got 10 rings. Cool. He just instantly learns about how to do all this shit. Like, it was...
They did that quick thing with Michelle Yeoh, and that was it. That was it.
I didn't like that.
Like I wanted to see that more.
Yeah. Had to take years to learn how to do stuff. Like,
That
Like he just, oh man, his father was around for like thousands of years, and this dude had to finally master the rings, and now Shang-Chi just comes up and beats like a gigantic freaking thing that no one could do, a whole race couldn't do, a whole nation couldn't do. Come on, man. Like,
it's almost like I was waiting for him to say, I've watched enough anime, cartoons, and movies to know how to do this. Like that was one
that though.
Yeah.
I would have respected that so hard, bro.
That's
like,
what I would
have been like, I get it. I watched Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom, locked my door, and started screaming in that shit till my mom almost beat my ass white. You know, so I would have understood it. You know, you guys see you got your ass beat back in the day. You know what I'm talking about? To the white meat, dude. To the white meat, man. Shoot, man, my mom ain't gonna let me scream in the house. She's like, just beat me up. But anyway, I would have respected that so much because I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. You know, I'm just acting like I know what I'm doing from watching films. You know, that would have made sense. I understand that he was trained by his father, but he didn't use the rings at all. You know, so it's just like that time gap didn't feel good. I felt like the budget was like, all right, guys, we have a set budget. You do what you got to do with it, you know, and that was it. You know, kind of what they did with Black Panther. But the difference is Black Panther had a way bigger budget. And yeah, you know, and also the time. I understand pandemic. I understand that, too. That's why I think a TV series would have been better. Because we got to we would get to see the platter that's put in front of us, eat the platter, and then digest it. I just felt like we kind of just ate it like a buffet and regurgitated it and forgot about it and say, hey, Shang-Chi was great because it was the first time that we saw all these Asian Americans on and brought over like a big Asian Titan, and here we are with the Asian movie. You know, that's what I felt like it was. And yeah, granted, we congratulated, we clapped for it, but I feel like it just didn't get the justice it needed, and I'm always feel that way.
We've once again we've had this discussion. It's almost like we've been spoiled with Disney Plus. Not anything else. Like, not a Peacemaker is it's doing really well. I'll say that. I really want you to. I really want you to watch it because James Gunn. Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
Where'd he come from?
But it's like we're getting these long story format, really good shows, and I'm not talking about the CW Flash or you know, Arrowverse or anything, like literally the Disney Plus and HBO Max shows. We're getting spoiled because they're so good. I feel like any movie that comes out, like even Spider-Man No Way Home, I could say I would love for that to be a, you know, like a 4-episode, 5-episode show. But I can see it. No, listen, I can see it because I want these things to expand and not wait 2 or 3 years for them. But comparing, you know, apples to apples, Shang-Chi versus Eternals, I do agree with you. Shang-Chi, I would have liked to seen in like 3 or 4 or 5 episode arc because there is a lot more details that could have been hit. But for some reason, Eternals doesn't. For me, I didn't need it with it. They gave us, I think, enough, even giving us some questions to think about in a good way. Words.
Right. It's just how the story was written. And Paul says it's interesting because my fiance, who's also half Japanese, comes from that side of the family, had the opposite reaction. She was crying the whole movie about cultural representation and how they're properly representing the cultural experience. Yes, I felt sentimental, and yes, I can see that because it's a film about celebrating the Asian culture and just everything, you know, surrounding that. But I don't feel like they gave it enough time, is what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like there was a lot of stereotypical shit that was pounded on. Let's just be real. Yeah. Even Awkwafina like made it quite clear. She was like, "What you think because I'm Chinese I'm supposed to learn and speak Chinese?" Like, I mean, it was just like stupid stereotypical shit. Like the amount of people that walks up to an Asian person and be like, "Hey, you know how to speak Asia?" You know, like the amount of people saying stupid shit like that are there, right? So, but I just think that a series would have been great. And also, more importantly, it wasn't for the fact of representation for us who are half Asian or the Asian community. It was more so to teach people that aren't Asian the cultural vibrance that is there in the Asian culture. And that's a problem with a lot of movies that are made in the West, is that we don't get enough culture placed into it for other people to learn and appreciate it on the same lines of those that have it because they grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Black Panther was very, very important for Black people in general, or African Americans in general, because it was finally something that celebrated that side that people have such stereotypical bonds on. But we knew this already. it's people like Matt or anybody else out there that don't have the information of the cultural differences and what's really good in Africa, right? Or what can be portrayed as good in Africa, to have that understanding. To see a Caucasian kid dress up as Black Panther meant a lot to me, because they embody the idea of a Black superhero being their superhero, while it means something more to us. And see, that's important to me. And I don't think a lot of people got that out of Shang-Chi. I don't think kids are going to be dressing up as Shang-Chi. I don't like that, or not Asian. I don't know. Representation is important. I feel like when it's that important, you need to like sit on it and like have more than just 2.5 hours to really, absorb what it means to Asian culture. Anyway, that's just my whole thing of it. Hopefully that makes sense. It's great that we have it. I just want them to expand on it. Same thing with Latino and Latinas. Whenever we get Miles Morales, I really hope they visit both sides of the spectrum and not just have him look like, hey, there's a Black Spider-Man, because every comic book of Miles Morales out there is against that. He even speaks about it in the comic book, the video game. He's like, I'm not the Black Spider-Man. I am the Spider-Man, and I hope they really look into the Puerto Rican side of things of him, like the relationship. And I think that's why Insomniac does such a good job, is they visit both. They don't just harp on one side, and that's the importance of it. But anyway, we can talk about that all day. But yeah, Eternals, badass movie. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. I thought it was something that needed to be expanded on, and I don't agree with the critics at all. Period. I think they got it wrong. I think that was one of their, like, on a Monday, shitty sandwich in hand, coffee, wrote a review, probably didn't even pay attention to the whole movie because they were just too stuck up on Endgame and Infinity Wars, and that was it.
Yeah. As far as the future, which is a big setup for this, which you kind of talked about, there was two scenes after the original run ended. You had a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene. As far as your thoughts on it, I want to go to was it the last one? Star Fox, Silver Fox. Was that the last one or the middle? I forget.
Yeah, it was the last one. It was the last one. Middle one was pick their asses up. The second one was the second one was Star Fox, who's Thanos' brother,
played by One Direction's something.
Yeah.
But what do you think about how they're doing it? Because he is a prominent player. It does that one little thing when he takes out "Let's go find him." It answers questions of what is going to happen next and where this group or team or where this adventure is going. But as far as the character, I'm Thanos' brother. Like, that's something that's just, you can't just drop and throw out there, right?
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
How MCU is going to handle this versus how comic books handle it.
Because his power and ability is
it's a little weird.
It's a little weird. I don't know how they're gonna do that on PG. PG
when you get to the level
movies.
of Titans and shit, you gotta kind of like humble them in shows. See, comic books you don't have to humble, because if the comic book's about that character, they can be OP as hell. You don't really care. But when it comes to a movie, they're gonna have to humble him. But I think he's gonna be humbled pretty easily, because we're on a level of reality breaking, and MCU can go any way with it. With Secret Invasion, with Multiverse of Madness, which, by the way, Multiverse of Madness is supposed to have the biggest cast of people in any movie. All I can think of is Endgame was a test to see if they can do it. I honestly think that, man, I really feel like Multiverse of Madness should be broken into 2 movies. Maybe it will be. Like a part 1, part 2, because I don't know how they're gonna do that with all that.
I hear you, man. Everything that you're hearing and seeing about that movie, I have no idea how you're gonna bring that in 2.5 hours, let alone 3. Like, I just can't. That trailer alone, it's like, how are you doing this in one go? And I'm sure they'll figure it out. I love Sam Raimi is taking over it, because it's gonna be a trip for sure. His directing and his director style for it. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I have no idea, and maybe they will, because I mean, we thought that what is it? Spider-Man 2 Into the Spider-Verse was going to be one film, and they threw it part 1. Oh shoot, there's going to be 2. Maybe they'll do a to be continued at the end of it, because to expand on
I think
that,
they're gonna do it like Endgame and Infinity War. I think Multiverse of Madness is gonna have its own title, and Marvel doesn't like part 1, part 2, or Disney doesn't like doing that. We can tell.
Yeah, because they changed it with Infinity War and then Endgame. Like it was part 1, part 2.
That was
like
part 1, part 2.
Yeah,
clearly, but yeah, I think we're gonna have Multiverse of Madness, and maybe after Multiverse of Madness, we will get Secret Invasion. Maybe that is the part 1, part 2, how it works, because they're both kind of like on that scale of like.
You mean Secret Wars?
Huh?
You mean Secret Wars?
Oh, not Secret. I wish they would do Secret Wars. Sorry, Secret Invasion.
No, Secret Invasion.
No, Secret Invasion is a series.
Is Disney Plus. Yeah, that's why.
Well, I don't think it matters. They're still in the same universe.
Yeah, that is true. But I was thinking more Secret Wars because of No Way Home and how this is tying into then.
That's why Secret Wars. But you can't have a Secret Wars without. I don't think you can have a Secret Wars without Miles and the Young Avengers. Like established.
You're right.
I don't think you can have that. But. We'll see.
Shit,
I don't know. I'm excited, but yes, Young Avengers is definitely, it's got to be coming. There's no, this thing is set up so damn good. I don't know what to say. I mean, I didn't think Chavez was going to even be in the MCU at this point. They didn't even introduce her well enough. Like the way that they're just throwing her in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oops. And she's like you said, she's a big character. So yeah, explain American Chavez. So there's a main character that is going to be in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. Her name is American Chavez. You got a brief little glimpse of her in the trailers that are out there. Chat, if you want to go see the trailer, it popped up I think 2 weeks ago, give or take. Yeah. So you can go check it out. There's a girl with a what is he? She Star. Mexican, Spanish? What is her?
Rican.
Puerto Rican. Sorry. Puerto Rican? American Chavez. Well, her character's name is American Chavez. She has a denim jacket on with a big star on the back of it. That's red, white, and blue. And Frank, if you want to kind of explain how badass, excuse me, and like how big she is, especially for Multiverse of Madness.
Right. I will tell you this:
Mexican American.
The comics did her wrong. The Marvel Universe on the comics did her very wrong. There was a lot of controversy about it. Mexican American. Thank you. They kind of like gave her like big hype coming out. Everybody was really happy, and then they kind of just threw her to the curve. And I think 2011 they announced it, and it wasn't. She just made an appearance, like a cameo, and it was just kind of like in and out. And we were like, "What the hell? You can't just like say that there's this character that's freaking awesome from Marvel, and then just like dump her to the curve like that, and not give her any kind of like life." But anyway, she had her own streak and everything, and she was pretty good. She rejects leadership because they're trying to hone in on her personal identity, and that's very important because Miles Morales does the same thing. Is a personal identity aspect to where you don't want to be like named after someone else, or because you have X powers, you're this person. You're not the next Captain America, and Miles Morales is not Peter Parker 2 or nothing like that, or just Black Spider-Man or anything like that. But anyway, in reality, she's like Miss America, and she has superhuman abilities, kind of like a super soldier. I mean, that I don't want to go into too much because I don't know how the MCU is going to unveil her. I'm scared that they're going to do the same thing the comics did, because they just kind of like, but the fact that they put her in the trailer is very important, because if she was a throwaway character or a character making a cameo, they wouldn't just show her like that. Marvel always does something to, spice in the pot. So yeah.
She is an interesting character. If you know a little bit about it, which I guess we'll hold off on. I mean, the way they put her in there and how they really didn't say anything about her, they just kind of threw her in there. And then who was that person next to her that looked like Rachel McAdams, but it's not Rachel McAdams' character? Like, is that Sia or Clea, I think is her name from the comics? Yeah. Like, there is so much going on in that trailer, and it tells you so little, but it also tells you so much. I can't wait for May. But before May,
Wait, before you get off of that.
Okay,
keep that in mind.
sorry.
Miss Marvel, American Chavez, Spider-Gwen, Squirrel Girl, Bombshell. We're only missing.
Well, we have Bombshell,
Girl.
right? We have Bombshell, right? That was from Hawkeye. We have Miss Marvel. We have American Chavez. We don't have Squirrel Girl. I assume we're to get Yeah. I mean, there has to be at this point. And then what was the other one?
No, we got Miss Marvel.
Yes.
American Chavez. Spider-Gwen is rumored.
Yes.
Apparently Emma Stone is in talks with Marvel. We're just missing Squirrel Girl at that point. Really, to be honest with you, but she almost definitely coming. I mean, Squirrel Girl's in Young Avengers. She is very close friends with and Riri Williams is another one. Those it's set up like I said. Again, Secret Wars. I don't know. It's just there. But anyway, we'll see.
It is all there. I mean, it's funny that we can talk about this and go so many different ways, and probably everything that we're talking about will actually hit for us, because at this point there's nothing that's gonna get missed. Comic Pals, thank you for the raid. Hi. Appreciate it. Hello. Hi, everybody. It seems like at this point where Marvel is, you can think of any story, any arc. It's most likely going to come true at this point. I can't see it not. I mean, to talk about what we said before, I mean, I can't wait for May for the Multiverse of Madness. I mean, 3 years ago, I couldn't imagine them doing that, but it looks fracking dope. And now something that I was excited for. And when we were on last week, we got that little teaser from Hulu, but now we got the full 2.5 minute, almost 3 minute trailer. Moon Knight, I am so excited for. I was excited for all these other shows coming out, but there is something about Moon Knight that is grabbing me, and I just want more.
That trailer did better than all the Batman films.
Fucking. It broke 75 million views. Yeah.
Why not Batman and Moon Knight?
It broke 75 million views now, man. Holy crap. Everyone is looking forward to this. I mean, the multiple personalities, badass, what looks like CGI. It looks like it is taking its the character from the comic books and doing it justice. They're switching up things here and there, I think. And then, I mean, when he eyes back and turns into him, very Spawn-esque, and he's beating the shit out of which I think is Werewolf by Night. That is dope. They're going hard, man.
Whatever it was, their body was hella limp.
I'm just not gonna stop.
Whoa, okay, all right, Disney Marvel doing your thing.
Oh, okay. And Ethan Hawke looking badass as like a cult leader or something.
Did you hear
like
about
that?
The actor that died?
Wait,
recently?
Yes, the actor from Moon Knight. I think like a day or two after that. Skiing, 30.
Tom Holland, you better stop skiing, brother.
37 years old. 37 years old. Yeah, he was the face of oh my god, what is that? It was a fragrance company like Figure Durant or something like that. But he was an actor and like
Armani or some shit. I don't know. Some big one. Yeah, he's some model. It sucks, man. You gotta be careful out there. Wear helmets. Moon Knight looks great, and let's talk about that suit, boy.
What do you think?
Looks glorious. Like that's one of the best MCU suits I've seen. Like that shit. Hey, give Marvel. Image, you better give Marvel to do your graphics when it comes to Spawn, because man, Moonlight looking good. I think this is really great. I'm really excited for this because Moon Knight never, ever got the respect that he deserved at all. And seeing Moon Knight and Daredevil on the same screen, I hope we get it, because those are two very dark characters that can just do some really nice things together. But yeah, I want to give you guys. So again, I hate breaking down trailers, and I'm trying not to do it. Okay, I just see stuff. I only watched Moon Knight trailer once, maybe 1.5.
I may have watched it more than once. A lot more than once.
Dr. Von Doom.
Yeah.
Big Easter egg. When he's in that truck, FedEx, UPS, whatever the hell it is, I don't know what it is. It said Doom. Von Doom on the packages. We're gonna get our Doom, and I'm confident. At first I was afraid because Doom has just been wrong every single time. And let's talk about Doctor Strange too, about Richard. Fantastic Four more than likely gonna make an appearance in Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness?
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's gonna be there. We know who's playing what's his fucking name, dude? What's his superhero name?
Who? Say that again. I apologize. Richard Reed?
Yeah.
Do you mean the original actor that played him? Ian? No, not Ian.
No, I forgot the guy that's playing from The Office. Isn't he from The Office? The dude that's playing him?
Dude that's playing Richard Reed, Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. Sorry.
Yeah. Who's playing? Okay. I know he's from The Office.
I thought the rumor I heard is they're bringing back like Jessica Alba, Reed Richards. Not Jessica Alba, but that Reed Richards, the British actor. Like he was coming back and playing reprising.
Is that it right there? Is it Gaspard? Is that his name?
No, Gaspard is the gentleman that unfortunately passed away with the accident.
Oh yeah. No. Let me see.
Fantastic Four movie.
I can't remember his name for the life of me. John Krasinski.
Oh, John Krasinski. That's the fan cast. That's who everyone wants to be Reed Richards.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do it. Well, I've been trying to tail him and see what he's up to. My dude put on weight and muscle. That's for sure. Put on a good bit of muscle, actually. And hopefully they get him. Actually at this point, I really don't care about who Reed Richards is or Mr. Fantastic or whatever. I don't care who plays them. I just don't want the original cast. I just don't want them. I don't want Jessica Alba. I love her. Believe me, I was obsessed with her when I was younger. I just don't want them anymore because I feel like the only person that can ever return to their character, no matter what universe it is Dr. Xavier, because the man
Patrick Stewart.
He embodies Xavier. The character was designed after him, right? It's like Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. I don't need anybody else for them. But for Fantastic Four, I don't want the original cast. Because you bring that cast back, they automatically got negative 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, let's just be real. Like no, everyone's bar is gonna be dropped down to the ground and stepped on.
But if it's a cameo and they're making it, even if it's like a 2-second thing, like even if Chris Evans just pops on the screen as the Human Torch and goes "Sup, flame on," and it just disappears or something like that. Like that's what I think.
Still don't want it.
You still don't want it? Okay. No, because I feel like that's
like having the original cast of X-Men back, bro. I do not want it. I love Halle Berry. You know what I'm saying? You don't, girl. But I don't want you to Storm. I'm sorry. I just don't want them back, bro. I'd rather have. You know who I'd rather have as Storm?
No, who?
The girl that played Okoye. The girl that was in Walking Dead. I'd rather have her as Storm.
Oh, she'd be badass, actually.
Right? I'd rather have her than Halle Berry. I don't want any of them. I just don't want them back, man. I don't even want Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. I just don't want them. I think we need a fresh, just new people cast that looks like the characters, that want to be there and that are fans. And I think we'll get what we need. It's just as simple as that. But whatever. At this point, I really hope that's my fear of Multiverse of Madness, that it's just going to be a cameo spit. We're going to just see all these old actors come back and people are just going to be like,
wait a second. Did you see the a fake parody account got a lot of people this past week with that? Did you see the fake end credit list that was thrown on the internet? Dude, it had everything on there. And I was like, oh, this kind of looks interesting. And then it goes Spider-Man. I'm like, okay. Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm like, you son of a... I was cracking up because like you get it. Like you're seeing it's like, okay, I can see it. It's going to be cameo heavy. And then Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio supposed to play somebody in MCU?
He was supposed to... He was supposed to be the original Spider-Man with James Cameron before it went over and was grabbed up. Like, dude, I was cracking up, man. I was cracking up. It was the funniest thing.
No, ew. I can't imagine. Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh my God.
that dude is a masterpiece actor. Don't get me wrong, but you might as well cast Johnny Depp as Spider-Man at this point. Just
go ham at that boy, yeah.
Saying, man. Like Jesus, I'm already heated that Tom Cruise is even rumored to be.
Come back
Tony
as
Stark.
Iron Man.
I just don't want it.
Well, yeah,
but
I mean,
anyway,
another piece of merchandise just leaked and came out because the movie was supposed to be out already. So it's all marketing and licensing numbers and jumbers. But they have the multiverse version of the Avengers symbol. So it's instead of it being blue, it's red and it's metal. So you're presumably going to get another Avenger. Yeah,
variants. But
what about seeing the actors that are currently or were in the MCU coming back, and even if it's a cameo, playing their multiverse version?
Huge, bro.
So like a Hydra version of Captain America.
Yes. You know the theater would scream if Robert Downey Jr. showed up, or a freaking Scarlett Johansson show up again. First of all, people get emotional. You know how powerful that would be? Imagine Florence, Yelena.
Yeah, Florence Yelena.
Seeing Scarlett Johansson come up, the old Black Widow, the new Black Widow, and that having that emotional moment to where she can finally get closure, because her closure was thinking that Hawkeye killed, but they can actually, maybe not like talk together like they know each other, but it's like she can see her and have that emotional bond. Peter Parker can have that emotional bond with Robert Downey Jr. and get that closure. It's just like, man, I would erupt if I saw everybody. Chris Evans comes back, everybody come back. That'd be dope. And then it could be a very goodbye, passing the torch moment, and we good. Young Avengers, let's go. I don't feel like we got that real closure. Like Bruce Banner, the fuck, where, how, when?
Yeah.
Or okay, we know we're gonna see you, but I just feel like they kind of just like stop production on everything, and we kind of just. I'm now missing the originals. I'm missing the OGs, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it's once they're gone, it's like you don't. Even though we always loved RDJ as Tony and Iron Man, but like once they're not there anymore, it's.
I hated his send off.
You didn't like it?
I didn't hate it because it was bad. I thought it was a great way to get us like emotional, but I just it was like
Josh
done, dead. I'm just like, what? No. It works with Tony Stark in any comic. He at least has a plan B. If I die,
he has a plan C, D, and E too. Yeah.
Yeah, he left his child. He left his wife. Like, he just left. He didn't just leave them with nothing. Come on.
And then like Stark Industry and everything that's going on with No Way Home. Like who's bought it up? Yeah, but still, it's.
Yeah, where is she?
Where
was Rescue when Tom Holland messed up? Like, where was all it? So these are the things where I'm just like, okay, this woman can find her husband in deep space, but she can't find where he gave the most powerful weaponry to. Like, what is going on? So we need that. We need that closure. And I think Multiverse of Madness would be great, even if we got Tony Stark. See, I don't think they should bring RDJ as RDJ. They should bring him back as a holographic version of himself in the Iron Man suit. That'd be so sick. Or there's so many other variations you could do with Tony Stark. You can bring the Tony Stark back that's not Iron Man. You can and bring him from What If. That would have worked.
I mean, yeah, you always have the possibility. Yeah, you're not bringing back the main universe Tony Stark because it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's the multiverse version of these characters that you can assemble around and see and
I mean, hell, there's so many. I mean, how many times we've seen so many heroes in the comic books die but come back?
True.
Due to like powers beyond belief. And they spoke on it with What If so many times. I hope we get dead ass Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, like zombie Wanda. That'd be so sick, dude. They are making a zombie series though. They confirmed it. I don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah,
but
they
are
announced
doing
it
a
on
zombie
Disney
series.
Plus Day. Yep.
Yeah, because people were so enthralled with it. I mean, that story was great.
Yeah, I mean, anyway. Death in comic books and in anything superhero related death is dead. Like you could come back from anything, and it all happened. I think it all happened with with Superman, but also then with Spider-Man too. Like both of them killed death by bringing them back later on in a new series. So like whenever you see, oh, Wolverine's gonna die. Yeah, okay. He'll be back in a couple
Wolverine
months.
has been ripped apart.
Yeah.
Before.
He was encased in
He died.
adamantium.
I mean, he was on the sun with Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's just weird shit. But I okay, I'm gonna say this right now. If we don't get a mutant in Multiverse of Madness besides, Scarlet Witch, I'm gonna be very upset. Because this is the perfect time to introduce some freaking mutants. Like the perfect, even if it's an end credits, I don't care where it is.
Yeah.
But we gotta get something X-Men related. We just have to. Like it's the perfect place to introduce somebody without rhyme or reason. It's the Multiverse of Madness. We just pop somebody in there. And it doesn't have to be Storm. It doesn't have to be Wolverine. It doesn't have to be, please God, don't be Cyclops. It just needs to be somebody. Jubilee, Gambit, Rogue. Rogue would be nice. Or a villain. I'm down with that too.
Rogue never got her justice.
Never.
And her like X-Men 97, I'm excited because I want to see more of that Rogue. I love that Rogue. And that Gambit, of course, too.
Yeah, that Rogue is the real Rogue to me. I don't know what they thought about making a kid who's confused and don't know who her daddy is. I hate how they do that. I don't like daddy complex main characters. I feel like that's their default thing for female characters is make them have a daddy complex.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought of that as a good storyline for like female main roles or like women main character roles, but not every female character needs to have daddy complexes, man. Anyway, but I don't know. We'll see.
They need to do a Marvel series of Friday. Jarvis's replacement AI, fixing a series of events from the background, like a group of heroes save the day, but Friday is actually fixing everything. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, what was it? Iron Man? What was it? Wait, was it Iron Man 3 or was it one of the Avengers movies where he was picking Friday because Jarvis became
Vision.
That he like threw out and there was like 5 different names out there that are comic book accurate. And it was what he picked Friday. So it's like, there's different plans out there. And it just, having him like fully gone, going back to RDJ, like just doesn't make sense. Not that it doesn't make sense, excuse me. It's not believable that he's not going to come back in a different manner. Especially with Riri Williams coming out and his daughter was introduced and they cut a scene of her when he does the Soul Stone, like, the big scene that they cut and they had her, who's actually, she's playing Cassie Lang in.
What's her name?
That was recast as Kathy Lang. Something Megford was the actress's name, but Megan Stark, the older version, that scene got cut and like they were thinking about the future with her. So it's
Lexi Rabe.
Yeah, and the little girl was her.
Morgan Stark.
Yeah, Morgan Stark. Sorry, not Megan. Morgan Stark. The little girl, I Love You 3000. She was supposed to be in No Way Home, but her stuff got cut too. So like, it's actually funny. Both of Morgan Stark's scenes from Endgame with her being older, and then obviously No Way Home, they got cut. So I wonder if they're trying to figure out a bigger plan for her after Riri is introduced, because that would be a cool thing.
Yeah, it'd be. I kind of really want a Pepper Potts.
I think she's done though. I don't think she wants to come back. She's like, she even said like, I didn't know who these people were. Like on the Avengers set, who are you? What's your hero name? Who? I think she's unfortunately done.
Yeah, probably. I mean, she said she was done before Endgame at one point. I think she was done with Iron Man films, and then she ended up bringing her back. Oh fuck! Here we go again. Stupid ass Bing. Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna come. I mean, apparently this girl is a lot older now.
The little girl from.
There's a lot of fanfics around her and stuff. Yeah, she looks completely different than what she did when she was younger. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of check out and see what people are saying about it. But
yeah, Lexi Rabe was the young one, and then Kathy Langford was the older one that got cut. So she's playing now Cassie Lang,
Yes.
the daughter, you know, in Quantumania.
Ant-Man.
So
Yeah, I think they're done with the Iron. Honestly, it doesn't make sense for her to do anything Iron Man related because of Riri Williams.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. I mean, it would be too redundant, and it just would not. It wouldn't fit. Plus, that character doesn't really have much of a backstory in the comics anyway. She was just a relative of Tony Stark. She wasn't really his daughter. But you know, like I said, MCU portrays things wherever they want to do it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe she'll just end up being a scientist or something at Stark Industries if Riri Williams takes that over like she's supposed to in the comic books. Maybe her and Riri Williams are friends. They're around the same age. So, I mean, who knows? It's gonna be interesting to see that. We're not gonna get the interesting. I'm really interested in how they're gonna do Riri Williams, because the big thing behind Riri Williams is that she is a super genius. 9 years old, beat college, bored, was was failing her classes so she'd stay in college because she was bored. She didn't know what else to do. But she was so smart that her teachers knew she was doing it on purpose. They had brought her into the office and could not get through to her that, you know, what you're doing is, you know, there's so much stuff you could be doing. She's like, I'm 9 years old. Like what do you expect me to do? Like, I'm bored. You guys don't challenge me. And then, you know, Tony Stark shows up and, you know, gets a whole letter from him and everything like that. And how she has a, you know, full blown scholarship no, she was in MIT. That's the funny thing about it. Yeah, she was in MIT, pretty much destroyed MIT.
yeah.
And got bored. The thing that turned her is when she got older, she lost family members due to a shooting out in the hood. So that kind of like changed everything, and that made her want to take up the mantle to do something about her neighborhood. And then things got much bigger for her. And she was a big fan of Tony Stark. So I'm really interested in seeing how they do it. I know they're going to be doing the whole thing with Wakanda, but with the actress that playing Shuri not getting.
Well, that's actually what I wanted to. That was actually what I put in the running show at the end. So the other day, who is T'Challa's love interest?
Winston. Love interest.
Oh God, what is her name? She has like the same name twice. Oye or something.
You talking about her real name is starts with N.
Yeah.
N.
So she came down with COVID and they had to shut down production again. So this is now like the fourth or fifth time this movie had to shut down production. It's supposed to come out in October. Do you think at this point we're gonna make it? Or is that going to get pushed?
Lupita.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome actress, really cool. But I mean, at this point, like, what is happening?
I mean, people can get COVID even if they're vaccinated and stuff. So I'm not that's just the world. It's just happening, man. You know, I don't think people are going to get upset if it gets pushed back. It should get pushed back. It should get pushed back to wherever they feel like where it should be. I don't think people miss Black Panther, but I think with the way Disney Plus is here, it's helping a lot of big box movies kind of let them chill for a little bit. As long as Disney Plus keeps pumping out all the hits that they're doing, nobody's really gonna give a shit about if a movie is, you know, delayed or not, because honestly, look at Morbius. You know, that thing has been delayed more than any freaking comic book movie I've ever seen.
When is that coming now? April? Yeah.
If at this point, TM soon, we don't know. But the funny thing is, I lost hype in that movie. Remember when we talked about it? I was like, I don't give a crap about that hype. The moment I saw the trailer, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of hyped for this. And then they delayed it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's at the point now where you either got to accept it or you don't. There is talks about Winston Duke getting a little bit more money, which means his role is expanding. I don't know what that means.
Ooh.
But Marvel did put out in the news that his role is expanding and he got a big bump in his check. So we might see Winston Duke as something else or someone else, not only as M'Baku, which he is casted in Wakanda Forever, as the return of M'Baku is real. But he may get casted as something else. So we don't know. Will it be for Black Panther? Will he take over Black Panther?
Yeah, that's interesting. If he's gonna get that upgrade.
Yeah, if Letitia or Shuri doesn't get her shit together, he might be the one. And I'm okay with it because Winston Duke is a boss.
Oh, he was awesome in that movie, and he's a fantastic actor. And his character portrayal, like how he went off with like that was awesome. He absolutely killed it. Yeah. Damn.
I wouldn't be surprised. And if that happens, it happens. I'm cool with it.
To
this point.
yeah, no, absolutely. To take a step back to move forward, we skipped over one of the things that I'm surprised we didn't talk about right away. The second end credit scene to Eternals with the Black Knight and the voice.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
well, that was the mid credit, right?
oh, that was the mid credit. Yeah, I mean, the seeing the ebony
no
blade.
one would know besides us that that's Black Knight. I don't like the way they introduced that.
No. Okay, so I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Mashali Ali's voice, Blade's voice.
Oh yes.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, his just hearing his voice and knowing that it's him, and then just thinking Blade is perfect. Like I could picture him with the glasses and the suit and everything. I think that's cool. I think that's pretty damn cool. But you don't like the ebony blade? I kind of like the design and how he heard the voices and that blood cursed sand thing that was going on, and kind of when he was going to touch it. But I think you're right. We wouldn't have known if it wasn't us. Like if my wife came, she'd be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, I don't think that I felt was rushed. You know that you're not gonna just stick an actor like Kit Henderson in it and be like, yeah, he's just there to be a dorky ass teacher who doesn't know what the fuck's on. I don't like that, but so I think they could have did a better job with him because him running, I'm gonna run towards it. Like I was just like, wait a minute. I know who you are, but if I'm outside looking in, not knowing who you are, I'd be very confused at you right now. Like, how are you okay with your woman being like this? How are you okay that your woman spent 5,000 years having sex with another dude? How are you like? How is this not shocking you? Like, how are you gonna get a ring that was from the medieval times and be okay with it? Like, so the funny thing is, a lot of people that were in love or are dealing with an Eternal knew their history. But the way he was acting, I felt like he could have been a little bit more calm, like with what was going on, and not so he was very. Kit Henderson does not do comedy well. I'm just gonna put it out there. He just does not. I don't find him funny. Right. But I know that he's gonna tear that role up because it's just Jon Snow 2.0.
Yeah, that is true. The long hair, everything's putting stuff on. It's a blade.
100%.
It's a little bit crazy. It's there, but it's interesting how they're bringing Blade into it, assuming they're going to take it further and it's not just one of the things they're going to cut and say it never happened or whatever. But it's interesting to do that because that's two of a couple of different members that you could put together for the Midnight Suns, right? And we're getting Morbius.
Midnight Suns, I just think Midnight Suns.
Moon Knight.
Midnight Suns would be a really good way to hone in on that stuff and introduce Blade in a different way. I think that would be great. But we have a Blade series, so I'm a little afraid. First of all, Mahershala Ali is a god when it comes to acting. I really hope he puts on some muscle and looks a role. That's what I'm afraid of because he gets booked so many times, so many different roles. I don't want him damaging himself to like go MCU and then go back to whatever the hell he's doing. So I hope. I mean, I know he's a grown ass man, does what he wants to do, whatever. But I just really hope that they give Mahershala Ali the story he deserves, because you don't just put this actor somewhere and give him a half-ass story, because everybody's gonna be comparing him to Wesley Snipes in that Blade. And that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to overdo because Blade wasn't 100% Rotten Tomatoes movie, but it was great because Wesley Snipes made that movie what it was. So I heard he was getting advice from Wesley Snipes. I heard that Wesley Snipes has a lot to do involvement with Mahershala Ali's like portrayal of Blade and like how he feels like it should be introduced. And I'm very confident in his work ethic.
I mean, even the way he said, what was it? I think it was, "You sure you want to do that?" It was very. You could hear the Wesley Snipes like version like that. You could just picture him doing that. So if they're getting that information and they're taking that character that way, that's cool. And he's even outspoken and said, we're not going to diminish or like forget about what he's done before. Like he 100% has talked to Wesley about this. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a cameo in it at some way, shape, form, or fashion. So. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? He apparently he's working out at the beginning of December. And he's starting to put on weight and muscle. So
nice.
I mean, that's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear for sure.
Yep. That's exactly what I want. Because I just want him to fully embody a role. Being an MCU character is not easy because the
Got a lot of
fans, you have
weight.
to please the fans, and more importantly, you have to convince people that aren't fans to continue to watch MCU films. That's your contract. So we'll see. I'm very confident in his acting skills. I'm not worried about that at all. What I'm more so worried about is whoever's directing it or writing it. If they really gonna sit down and give Blade, because Blade, I feel like he's another character that just never got the attention that he should have had to begin with. They gave him a movie early and that was great, but that was during the vampire era. Everybody was making vampire movies back then. Underworld was a thing. Fucking Twilight was kind of spinning up around that time. All these other vampire movies and all different portrayals of vampires around.
My
so
God.
it was kind of like fitting the trend, just like the zombie era. So hopefully they kill it. Other than that, yeah. Okay, so we do have some little things we could talk about. I wasn't knowing the Moon Knight. We kind of went all over the place with that. Yeah. What's his name? I'm trying to get better with actors' names since we were kind of doing this thing. Let's see. I want to look at the Moon Knight cast over in general.
So Moon Knight as
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
Poe Dameron.
That dude, every woman in the world just kind of like melts when they see him. So they got the candy face, right? He's very much of a candy face. He's gonna bring in a lot of people. It's kind of like how Loki is. They just kind of bring in a lot of people just based off of who they are. Oscar has a huge fan following. He killed it in Star Wars. If there's anything that was good about those movies, it was him. I thought he was supposed to get his own series. With Star Wars. So
it makes sense because it's fighter pilot. He's afterwards and everything, staying within that universe too. It would be really cool because he killed it. You're absolutely right. He absolutely killed that role as Poe Dameron. Yeah,
and again, like Ethan Hawke is back, or is back in the fray over here. Ethan Hawke got a lot to prove, though. I feel like any of these actors that's taking a long pause to jump into something so thick. They have a lot to. I feel like they have a lot to prove. But the cast is looking pretty good. Of course, Oscar Isaac has to be a method actor in this. He has to play a lot of different hats. And from what I've seen, it looks good. Like he did a really good job. His facial expressions, body language, it's not only about going from one voice to another. It's literally about changing a character. So as a method actor, he's going to have to put on the robe of this character and put on the robe of that character. And it's looking really good. And like I said, it feels more Batman than Batman to me. And I think that's the route Batman needs, is that pain of not knowing who you are.
Yeah.
The identity crisis is real, and I really am happy about Oscar being Moon Knight.
Yeah, the way we've seen Batman portrayed, it's always been it's two different people. Even if it's Bruce Wayne, you see him as Bruce Wayne and they are Bruce Wayne. And then when they're Batman, they're Batman. The closest I think we got to not seeing it was Bale when he was he was sleeping in the in that meeting room or something like that, and goes and then was it Fox comes over and goes late nights. So Lucius Fox comes over and goes late nights. That was probably the closest to it. But everyone else, billionaire Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton, billionaire Bruce Wayne in Ben Affleck and Val Kilmer, George Clooney,
Batman.
But that's but that's what I specifically like about what they've said about the new Batman, the Batman, where he goes, he doesn't want anything to do with Batman. He doesn't want anything to do with Bruce Wayne. He's done with it. The crazies. He's just vengeful right now. He just wants to be Batman. So if they're doing that similar to what we've seen of Moon Knight and how he really has to portray three different characters, because they're three wildly different characters who has no idea what's going on. It's
different actors could have played him at that point.
Yeah, this is going to be dark. I don't think people understand how dark this is going to be, or if they go that route, because that's going to be a big test.
They are.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test for them, Marvel. But thus far, it looks like it's a home run. I don't want to put too much hype on it, but it looks
it's okay to say that the trailer looks good. No, I just don't want them to keep pushing trailers out, because man, it's like Sony. By the time you see the third trailer, you know the whole movie. It's there. But I would like to say, typically when you read stories about people with tons and tons of money and responsibility, they're not all here, and they definitely, I feel like the Batmans that were portrayed before are too perfect. Like, I just feel like Bruce Wayne was too perfect.
Yeah.
He's too much of the perfect embodiment of a, you know, a rich single man or whatever.
Yeah, having too much fun with it, jumping in drunk into pool. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want Robert Pattinson to be that Bruce Wayne that's confused. Should I be enjoying this when there's things out there that needs fixing, and like crossing over those lives and not keeping them completely separate? That's what I hated about those Batmans, because in the comics that did it right, he's Batman all the time.
Yeah.
Like, even with Bruce Wayne, he's Batman. You know, he's Detective Bruce Wayne, Batman. You know, he's Bruce Wayne with a lot of money, Batman. He's Bruce Wayne with like issues, you know, anxiety and all that stuff. And that's what we need, because how do you grow up tormented as a child by all this stuff and be okay? Like, you know, it's just like, so I really think that Robert Pattinson is going to do it. But people are being dumb right now in the news and media. I literally read something the other day. It's like, Robert Pattinson made the mistake to say that he didn't work out for the role. And I'm like, who cares?
Come on, man. Just
who cares? He's
did you
not
see him in the trailer?
Batman
Holy
you want.
Yeah, and it's like they're specifically saying, like, he's in year 2.
Yeah.
Like, it's not year 1. It's also not an established Batman, and we're seeing the detective Batman, but still in that last trailer, he jumps down, grabs the guy's gun, and beats the shit out of him. Like, you're telling me that's not a brolic Batman? It's definitely a different frame from what we've seen recently from Batman. But I like that's again, the critics, the interviewers, they just don't get it. Hey, Warner Brothers, talk to us, please. Thank you. Marvel, please talk to us. Thank you. Yeah, we get it, man. We get it. We'll ask the
Batman,
right.
dude. A rated R Batman they'll just blow up. You know, they could if they even just put rated R on this film, I think people would just lose their minds. I just think that that's what people want. It's like what they did with Old Man Logan. They put rated R on that. People were like, now you have my attention. There's gonna be blood. Oh, you have my attention. This is the real Wolverine. Like, I think we got more Wolverine out of that movie than we had any other Wolverine.
All
movie.
the X-Men and all the
yeah. It's just like, okay, this is great. I want to see this. So I'm kind of, if I had to be hyped, I'll say I'm hyped about that. Let's move over to Peacemaker.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the opening credits for Peacemaker, definitely take a chance to look at that. I don't know.
It's James
I almost feel like John Cena is a clown. He is very much of a clown. He likes being, he likes having fun. He likes doing weird stuff. I saw his new TikTok stuff he has up. My God, why?
He's going ham with this character. He's going ham with everything. He's loving, he's loving life right now, man. He's loving life right now.
He's loving it. Yeah, it's really nice seeing him like come out of his shell. Maybe it's because he's like, I don't have to be a wrestler, you know, like I'm other things. I'm an actor now, you know, and I can do this and that. I'm a TikTok creator now. It's really nice to see him flourish. And watch those opening credits. Essentially, it's the whole cast dancing, and that's all I'm gonna say. If you can call it that, I don't know what it was. But it was glorious. I haven't seen Peacemaker yet, but from what I've read, everybody's in love with it. And was like, James Gunn, please make everything. You know, like, it's funny because it's interesting. The community is split, Matt, because James Gunn was trending the other day. I don't know if it was because Peacemaker's release or what, but the Snyderverse hardcore fanboys came out huge and was like, look how happy the cast is with Snyder and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, why you guys got to poop on somebody's reign, man? This ain't about that. Like,
the past 3 weeks for DC have been very good, but also very bad. You have Peacemaker that's killing it. Everyone seemingly, from what I've heard, loves it, but you do have that percentage that's like, we live and die by the Snyderverse. This is our DCU, because everything that's happening is technically in it, but it's also very different because of everything that happened. So it's like, you have to get over it and get through it. Like, you're not going to have the same actors and directors for the same thing every single time, even though something is going to try to be established. Unfortunately, DC's messed up on multiple occasions, and they're trying to they're trying to course correct it here. And do I have faith? No, but I'm going to go with it because I love these characters and I want to see it. And then obviously the whole Josh Whedon thing. Can he just like get thrown off a boat somewhere? Like that's just ridiculous. So it's like the good and the bad, right?
Him and what's her face? I try to forget her name all the time. Harry Potter lady.
J.K. Rawlings.
Those two need to hold hands and go off into the sun. Like just
they gotta pull an Icarus.
Yeah. Pull an Icarus, go on a remote island and discuss how racist and afraid of anything that's not what you think in your holy Bible should be. Like just be over there and let us be over here. I think it needs a complete wipe, like just a wipe clean. It's like wiping your butt, just wipe it clean and start over and let whatever's been done. I think Suicide Squad is a good place. I think Peacemaker is a good place. I think there's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, everyone
Batman,
that watches Suicide Squad enjoys it. Like I was in a thread for something I'm doing, and they just saw it the other day and go, "Oh my god, it's so much fun! It's a good movie." Like you forgot it, like how good DC can be if they wanted to.
Yeah,
it's wild. And then obviously we talked about it. They want like everyone and their mother that's enjoying it says you're 2 for 2, James Gunn. Please be the Kevin Feige of.
That's what they need to stop.
But I think they said that. I think he actually came out and said, I'm pretty sure he came out and said, I don't want that. Like I just want to direct and write. Like I don't want that.
He just wants to direct and have fun. Let the man live. That's the problem with DC. See, DC fans are so desperate for something to be good. They want to push all that pressure on one person to get rid of this. Whoever, I mean, I like Snyder a lot. I mean, he's a great guy. But whoever put this shit on him to have a Snyderverse and like now every director has to have their own universe. It's not called a Kevin Feige universe. It's called MCU. Just let it sit there with the DCEU. Start it over, wipe it clean, get rid of everybody that you need to, and keep who you got right now. That they need to just respond to the public when it comes to a good movie. Yeah, and then build
exactly.
Off of it. Simple as that. Let that man live, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to push him away.
Yep.
And when they do, I hope he comes back to Marvel.
I mean, he is.
Like, I'm sorry. Here's all your money.
Well, yeah. I mean, the big things with him recently was after Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right? And I think he's doing the Groot holiday special this year.
Yeah.
He said, like, I have no want or need to do movies. I love my experience.
Yep.
It's telling this extended story with Peacemaker that I want to do additional films, and I think he's actually signed on for something else. DCU. I'm sorry, not DCU. DC. Now I don't know if it's Peacemaker and maybe another one. I think, but he's already tapped for another series.
Well, so, I know him and Idris Elba was really big in talks about doing. What is Idris Elba? Deadshot.
Deadshot. Yeah.
Yeah. I know they're in big talks about it because Idris Elba. I even think that Idris Elba wants to fund or direct or produce some of it or something of that nature. Because during Suicide Squad, he enjoyed his time behind the camera. I did read that. He did a lot of the cinematography and stuff for it. He held the camera in a lot of scenes. He said he loved the feeling of it. He wants to get into that. So there were big talks between him and James Gunn doing a series for Deadshot. I don't know if it got passed through the board or whatever, but I know they really, really, really wanted it. Bloodsport. That's it. Bloodsport.
Yeah. Sorry. Deadshot is because you said Deadshot and I know Deadshot is Suicide Squad. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're smart.
Bloodsport is definitely cooler, but yeah. So we'll see. I just want James Gunn to have fun, and I think if people took his role, took it that serious, and just say, hey, I just want to make movies, or just want to make TV series, then let them have it.
Yep.
TV series are, I want to say, even more important than movies because you have an extended way to tell a story. And then, you know what? Movies, I feel like if you mess up, you mess up, right? I feel like series, you can have a couple bad TV, like shows and have great ones. So if there's six episodes, let's say your first one wasn't a big hit, but if somebody keeps watching, I mean, look at Iron Fist, for God's sakes. People, man, the amount of people that was like, I'm going to hold on because I hope that they do. People watched that whole freaking season and hated it, but they watched the whole season. So yeah, I agree with him. I think series needs to take, what's real great those series having those movie budgets are nice, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
You
Quality.
feel it and you see it, and it's really nice. So the two pieces of information for James Gunn to go off what we were just talking about was in a tweet. This is from January 8th, so 2 weeks ago, give or take. There was a tweet. He loves to tweet now, which is awesome. Critic named Drew Deitish stated that Warner Brothers should just let James Gunn take over the DC universe. Gunn replied that while he appreciates the compliment, quote unquote, would never want Walter Hamada's, that's DC, or Kevin Feige's job. He doesn't want it. And then to say that, it was the other day, 7 days ago exactly, that he did tweet and say that I am currently working on my next project for DC, and it will be a television series. So I guess HBO Max again. Now, whether it's Suicide Squad, whether it's Peacemaker related or anything else, who really knows? I don't know. Like, I know there's a couple of things in development that doesn't have a name attached to it. Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle already has.
Yeah, I was just saying his name isn't attached to it. Yeah, like they already have a director, writer, and actor. There's something else that is on HBO Max.
I'm so afraid of Blue Beetle. I think that's gonna look so CGI. It's
hard not to do it CGI. Like, there's so much going on with the.
If you can do Iron Man, you can do Blue Beetle.
True.
Because Robert Downey Jr. said specifically, once that helmet comes down, he's no longer doing anything. He's got a mocap on his face and he's just talking in the suit, like, so to speak.
The funny thing is, they use so many physical props with Jon Favreau's regular Iron Man. It was hard for me to distinguish the CGI to the real stuff. But for some reason, obviously they went full CG with the nano and everything. I didn't like those suits as much because it was full uncanny valley. Like, I get it. That nano suit in what was it?
Bro, that nano suit was
in Infinity Wars where he takes off the glasses, and then, like, I was like,
boy.
But like, if you
I have that suit on my Marvel Avengers, like, Iron Man right now, dog. And this suit was hot. Not only that suit, the suitcase suit was hot.
That was cool. Like it's not as, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not as bad as the X-Men Wolverine claws compared to the Wolverine. Like, that was horrible CGI. Like, I get it with Iron Man.
Those claws moved around, bro.
Oh my god!
Hand. Those just like,
what is this? It was so bad. That was so bad. But yeah, that's where I was kind of just saying, because it just popped in my head. But yeah, God, there's so much stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so happy James Gunn is happy. I just want directors to be happy, because when directors are happy, they make good movies. It's as simple as that. When they're in their element, they go the extra mile. It's like everything else, When you're having a good day content creating as a streamer, you fucking kill it that day, because you're just happy. You're not worrying about viewers. You're just doing your thing, right? In your zone. But when you have to worry about pleasing everybody and doing what everybody wants you to do, that's when it starts to fall apart. And I think that goes with everything. Comic book publisher Boom Studios. I think we kind of talked on Boom Studios for a little bit before, because they're having a pretty big year. Last year they had a pretty big year. Officially announced their Alice Ever After, an upcoming 5-part series that puts a new twisted spin on the story Alice in Wonderland. It's interesting that they do that, because Alice in Wonderland always is the first one to get the grim tales. Every time Alice has been introduced, it gets darker and darker, and more twisted. The set launch it's coming out this April. So look for that.
April's going to be here before we know it. Yeah.
Yeah. Alice Ever After comes from the creative team, writer, artist Dan. So his name Panosian. I think I said his name right. And Giorgio Spalletta. Oh, okay. So he did Red Sonja series. I know exactly who that is. Fabia Mascalo. Dude, she's coloring so many things right now. Anyway, she's on it. Yeah. So if you're in love with Alice in Wonderland, this is a dark, surreal version of the series. Who would have thunk? I mean, I don't want to say even the Disney part, even the Disney,
I mean, the Disney movies with Tim Burton, anything Tim Burton is a little bit like, what is happening here?
Well, even the cartoon, like the first original Alice in Wonderland. I mean, the Queen was That was some brutal
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
man.
not. Yeah.
Cutting off people's heads and shit. Brutal. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that looks pretty cool, man.
In Alice
And
Ever
that's,
After, Alice struggles with her choice between facing her trauma in the real world of escaping to Wonderland for good. Like, that's interesting. Like, what
See,
is her struggle in the real world? Yeah.
Yeah. The psychology of it all is nice. The human mind and the way the mind works is a scary place. People often get trapped in their minds too.
Oh, God, yeah. God, yeah, man.
About what they're doing is really happy about that.
Oh. So me and you went back on a not me and you went back on a tweet, but like I saw your tweet. We watched the trailer at the same time, and I responded back to it. Like, this is actually kind of cool for video game fans, manga fans, anime fans. Earlier this week, Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco released that. I think it's sometime in 2022. They haven't announced an official date yet, but they're doing a My Hero Academia mini battle royale. 24 people, 24 characters in there, solos, trios. No, it's full quirks. And the trailer looked fun, man. In-game progression, how it looks like you're gonna tear up and everything. It looks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that no one has done something like this, not just in anime, but just in like the world of comics, because fighting games there, like it would be real. Like, I'm surprised this is the first one, and it looks pretty damn good out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, Bandai Namco really crushes it in the anime series. I mean, most of this is a great twist for Bandai Namco because 9 times out of 10 they've already done this with My Hero Academia. They make fighting games. Like they automatically make the easy push, like you press a button 50 times, do a combo fighting games. Like they make this very early entry, easy
Alex
stuff.
Yeah.
They did Demon Slayer, they did My Hero, they did Naruto, they did all those. They recently came out with a Dragon Ball Z game that I thought called Dragon Ball Z Breakers that I thought was a battle royale, but ended up being a Dead by Daylight.
Yep, it was a Dead by Daylight with Cell. Yep, I remember that.
I mean, cool idea. You do get weapons and stuff to be able to like fend them off or whatever.
So
but
big, it was weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird twist because I'm like Dragon Ball Z battle royale, easy. It's all about like. That would have been so easy to do.
It's
but My Hero, I like it even better because My Hero again faded out of the spotlight, and not only that, people just sick of fighting games, anime fighting games. I mean, I can see it, but having a BR, you still get that world. You can still use the assets that you have. Very easy for them to make because I mean they use the same engine for everything.
That is true.
Yeah, Naruto would have been a ass BR game. Like they kind of did do a Overwatch type style with Naruto X Boruto, and it was very marketed very poorly. Didn't optimize the game and also didn't balance it. It was very unbalanced. But I enjoyed what I played, and I think a lot of people did. You could customize your own ninja and all that stuff. So I hope My Hero.
I remember seeing something like that. Yeah. That sounds very moving. When you said the customize, I remember that. Yeah,
cross-play, cross-progression. That's the play right now. I hope this comes out on multiple systems like it always does. Xbox, PlayStation, PC.
It is.
Nintendo
And the weird
Switch.
thing from what you've seen on it, it's not PlayStation 5 and Xbox, whatever it is. It's actually last gen. So it's more
PlayStation 4,
compatible,
Xbox
I
One.
would say.
But it makes sense because you can't just go out and get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Same thing with Xbox.
I'm pretty sure, excuse me, they're going to do an upgrade for free, hopefully.
It would make sense. Yeah.
But I really hope you get to customize your own hero. I think that'd be fun. Granted, I don't think they will. I think you just take on one of the heroes that you like. But a BR game where you don't get to customize, that's interesting. I mean, we have Apex, I guess. So I guess that kind of works the same way. But
yeah, there's always
use your
skins.
powers.
There's always some type of money grab outside of the game itself, whether it's free or $60.
Outfits and
stuff. So yeah, what type of outfits are they gonna have, or like? It seems like you could do different power-ups and quirks and abilities or something like that. So like, how is that gonna work? But you know, you were saying all these other things, and you know, it's like, how would you do a BR for Dragon Ball because it's usually just always one-on-one and it's a fighter, but it's like I automatically thought of the Tournament of Power, but then again, that's still a one-on-one. But if you can section it off at the how it is at the beginning, where it's like everyone almost all for all, that would be dope if they did like a Tournament of Power BR because you have enough characters there for it.
I guess
that would be really cool.
I mean, there's ways you can break that down, but I guess because flying would be a thing. But if you can make your own character, that'd be dope.
Gigantic girl, like how are you supposed to fight that in My Hero Academia?
I mean, she's a big target for everybody to beat on. I don't know. I mean, but flying is a lot different, you know. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people with flying perks in My Hero as well. So I don't know. They'll figure it out. I think Naruto would have been a better one though, overall, because that game, I mean, that anime is about war general, and it would have been pretty cool.
True.
All that stuff looks pretty good. I mean, also Demon Slayer could have fit in that. I just wish. I don't think they should have just went with a My Hero Academia. I think they should have did a Shonen All-Star Battle Royale where all the Shonen characters come together for a battle royale, like Luffy and like everybody, and just made the cast ginormous and had a 60, 30v30 battle, not 30v30, have like 60 player battle royale, 30v30. Have different modes in it and rocked with it. I don't think that genre BRs are definitely being tapped a lot, but I think something of that nature would be more fun. And then not make it Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been
a battle royale version of Jump Force.
Yeah. Well, no, not Jump Force, but All-Star Shonen. Yeah, All-Star Shonen.
Are those servers still online? Is that game still around?
Yeah, it's still around. They even have. I feel like they run small tournaments, but it's very much a spam fest, and they don't balance that game out enough. It's a beautiful game though. Game is gorgeous.
Yeah, the way the CG is, it is definitely very nice.
The CG and the particle effects and everything that they do are really great. But that game is spam. You could literally just spam buttons, and the optimization has never been great. The online servers suck. Yeah.
Wow, there is.
If you queue up in that game, you'll probably be sitting for 30 minutes to an hour to get a match, and you'll probably end up matching the same person over and over again, and they just spam shit. I played that game for a good solid month and stopped playing it.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked it up on Twitch Director. There's 3 viewers for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
Yep. Other than that, there's news of Superman and Robin teaming up. So I don't know how I feel about that. Superman and Robin special.
Really?
Yep. Is it Kid Robin? Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, look at that. Superman and Robin special number 1. No, that's different. Okay. So Superman's son, John Kent, and Damian Wayne, put evil to bed. Past its bedtime. Why do you have to put that in there, man?
Not only that, I really don't like the way they portray Robin. Like, why does Robin have to have? Why does he have to be super skinny and have oversized shoes and gloves and it just doesn't make sense, man. And it feels like there's 2 artists doing this. The Superman looks like Superman, but then Robin looks so clownish. It's 40 pages. It looks like it's a graphic novel.
Yeah, so if you look up Superman and Robin special number 1, variant cover by Jorge Jimenez, that looks cool. That looks more.
Is that the one with Superman?
They're back to back.
Choking Robin?
No, I don't see choking Robin. I see one that's back to back that looks pretty cool. I don't see a choking one. Man, what type of comic book is this? Yeah, that's a very anime looking Robin, how his hands are
He's oversized, yeah.
That's a
Superman
weird
looks
one.
like Superman, but Robin doesn't like Robin. I mean, if you're into those 2 worlds crossed over, something you might want to look at. I mean, when I hear Damon Wayans, I think badass, but this doesn't really grab it. I don't know. Definitely one of those. If you're a big fan comics, if you do read it, please let us know what you think about it. I don't know. IDW lose G.I. Joe and Transformers publishing license in 2022. Just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people's licenses are coming to a close this year, whether it's insiders or big licenses like this, because where would G.I. Joe and Transformers go if they're not going to re-up? Are you going to go to what is IDW? What would be Image, I guess?
Yeah, probably Image.
But how much money does that company have? Because I'm sure IDW.
Well, Image does that special thing to where it's on you. You know.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe they would. Maybe they would want that because they know how big their brand is.
Well,
I don't know.
I took time while I was in California recently, before the time I went for the holidays, to watch all the Transformers. It was on the TV. I watched pretty much a lot of the Transformer movies. Those movies weren't as bad as people made them out to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very cheesy, believe me. And you know, I think Mark Wahlberg, that was weird. But you know, Bumblebee was great. You know, the CGI was great. Like, there's a lot of good stuff about those films. G.I. Joe I mean, that poor G.I. Joe. They just never hit the ground running.
Never had a leg to stand on.
G.I. Joe. I don't even. Yeah, no one cares about it. But you know, I don't know. Wherever it goes, I think Image would be good for it because they can make darker versions of it. Because that's like what Image does, is like hold the darker versions. They're kind of the home where orphan comic books go, or comic book creators go when they want to like break away from the corporate setting. And we're still waiting on Todd McFarlane to do something. I mean, like, where's Spawn, bro? Like, you said it was coming. So I'm kind of worried about where. I mean, I'm not worried, but I don't know. I think Image and NetherRealm are probably gonna. I feel like they're gonna merge if they haven't done it already.
Really? Image and NetherRealm for like.
Man, Todd McFarlane and NetherRealm Studios they've worked together for so long. They're like best friends.
Yeah.
Ed Boon and Todd McFarlane are like best friends. They like literally discuss plots and points all the time. And I feel like, yeah, what if they merged, man? That'd be pretty sick. You know, I don't know what they would call it, but because NetherRealm got rights to another big thing. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but I did read it the other day.
They did?
Yeah, they were like, what if we did this? And I was like, what?
NetherRealm gets another license. Definitely typed that all in wrong.
What was it? Ninja Turtles or
something? It's NetherRealm. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, they were talking. There was some big thing they were talking about, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. It wasn't Mortal Kombat, obviously. It was just something else. They have a new game coming out. Yeah. But I can't remember what the license was, but it's not Mortal Kombat. But I don't think they specifically came out and said what name it is, but they said it was a brand new license.
Oh, here we go. So Mortal Kombat 11 director breaks silence on new game. This is from Comic Book Gaming 7 days ago. Chicago, Injustice, past few months. Really? Okay, so Boone said, really appreciate the enthusiasm for our next game, and we wish we were ready to announce, but we aren't yet. Many more variables involved than we are allowed to disclose. Variables involved.
Keanu Reeves is involved with this. That was it, because I remember there was there was an interview where Keanu Reeves, he brought up NetherRealm Studios. It was really weird because you're like, what, you know about this? Like, you know, like everyone looks like Keanu Reeves is an old man.
Yeah, right.
Let's see.
Keanu.
Details concerning whether it might be Mortal Kombat game, an Injustice game, or a completely new IP is not shared. Let's see. Keanu Reeves' involvement in a future NetherRealm game.
Oh, I remember
this.
And it
seems as though NetherRealm must tread carefully now in order to not mislead suggestible fans. Yeah, it was definitely
Keanu Reeves doesn't want John Wick or Neo in any type of fighting game. So I guess someone said, do you see one of these characters coming up in a fighting game or just a game in general? He specifically said he doesn't want those characters, and whether or not he can say that or has power with those sayings, who knows? But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. NetherRealm knows how to make fighting games. It'd be interesting if they try to revisit the realm of an action adventure game. We haven't really gotten one of those for a long time, and the ones that we did get were kind of weird. But they also involve Mortal Kombat, so we'll see. Who knows? It's out there.
It is out there in the world for sure.
Time. Yeah, we don't know. we're coming up on time, everybody. And, you know, today was a couch session. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of news out there, just a lot to talk about what was in the news. If you haven't already, go watch Eternals. We kind of, I don't think we really had a spoiler talk about that. You know, we talked about the end credit scene, which you might find and stuff like that, but you know, it's not going to really mean anything until you watch it. If you haven't watched Eternals yet, I highly suggest you go watch it. Go in there with like a low expectation bar and open mind, and you're going to enjoy that film. I thought it was great. We talked about Moon Knight. Moon Knight looks really good. Try not to get too hyped. There's a lot of Easter eggs and cameos and stuff that will be placed in Moon Knight. And Moon Knight will not be and thinking this is a TV series and thinking this is coming out soon. I just realized that Moon Knight was a TV series. Like it just clicked in my head because that trailer was so movie-esque.
It was.
It didn't even like. I was like, damn, we get bonus. It's a TV series.
How many episodes
6
is Moon Knight? So I think for the most part they're all 6, with the exception of WandaVision because they were shorter, and there was something else that was more than 6. Was that What If or?
Besides Wanda, maybe, but everything was 6. Winter Soldier was 6. We thought it was longer. It felt longer.
Yeah, it did. It did.
That was 6. Loki was definitely 6. Hawkeye was definitely 6. Also, people celebrated WandaVision's 1 year, by the way. It's been a year already. Like a week ago or so that WandaVision came out. And people were celebrating it. So all the shit about people who didn't like WandaVision, what are you talking about? I thought it was great. Yeah.
Smack them.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't seen any Disney Plus shows and you're just now coming in or you're just lurking from a different website, make sure you guys check out Disney Plus. Pretty good. Book of Boba Fett. I watched episode 1. Interesting. I can't wait for Expo episode 2 because that was the episode that it tripped everybody up and was like, okay, now we get it. You know, so episode 1 was interesting. I thought it was fun. Didn't think it was Mandalorian episode 1, but you know, but I heard episode 2 was hot, so I'm gonna have to watch that. Peacemaker, I'll probably watch that. So your homework will be Peacemaker, Book of Boba Fett, Eternals if you haven't seen it already, Moon Knight trailer if you haven't seen it already. Tell us what you think about Eternals. Tell us what you think about Kit Henderson, all the actors' roles in Eternals. And tell us what you think about Book of Boba Fett, because Book of Boba Fett is probably something we're going to discuss a good bit next week. And it's interesting, very interesting, because you think about Boba Fett as his ultimate badass. We're going to see the clash between that and what we've seen in episode 1. It's very interesting. So definitely go check that out. And if you read any cool comments, let us know.
Yeah,
anything to say?
I saw episode 1. I saw episode 2. I wasn't, and Josh and a couple of other people that were in my community were talking about it the day after, a couple of days after, without any spoilers. And I was like, episode 1, like I didn't get it. Not that I didn't get it, like it didn't hit me. It's like, what is happening? Like, is this? Okay. But then episode 2, it was definitely much better. Like I enjoyed it. But then I think I said this last week too. Like episode 3 is being touted everywhere, which I still haven't had a chance to check out. Like even, you know, our geekdom and brothers here at Rare Drop, Kevin and Tim. I know it's Tim. I don't know if Kevin said it, but like he said, like this is the best Disney Plus Star Wars show, period. Better than Mandalorian, any one of those episodes. Like apparently episode 3 is amazing. So I have to try to watch it. So
damn.
That's a big tout right there, right? So we'll see, but then what happens after Book of Boba Fett? That ends sometime this month. Then we're going to have nothing in February, presumably, and then it's going to be Moon Knight all the way at the end of March. We're not going to be out. We're going to be without something for a while until like Batman March 4th. So
that's fine.
February is going to be February is going to be a dry month for superhero. But yeah, there's a lot of video games coming out. We didn't even talk about Activision Blizzard.
That'll be next week. That'll be next week. That needs its own 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah,
oh, Lordy.
Yeah, but you know what? One thing that I will say with that is, if you look at the recent buyouts and mergers over the past 10 years, Disney buying Marvel, Disney buying Lucas, Disney buying Pixar, Fox, Warner Brothers to Viacom, and you look at those numbers, and then you look at Microsoft with ZeniMax Media, Microsoft specifically with Activision Blizzard. Video games are, out of the big entertainment properties like movies and TV, video games are the biggest entertainment property there's out there. $70 billion for Activision. Yeah, billions for Activision Blizzard. Marvel and Lucas respectively wasn't even $15 million.
But
for them,
let's just say
they've made a shit ton on it recently.
Not only that, Marvel was a one in a lifetime buyout because Marvel was going bankrupt.
Yeah, but Lucas Films, like that's an interesting one still.
Yeah. But to quickly talk about Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, that was supposed to be a lot more. But since they was in the media and they effed up everything, that price drop, and Microsoft's like, like, give me that shit, so they jumped in at the right time because Activision was losing money. They lost sponsors, they lost money, they lost stock, they were losing everything. It was just going down,
losing employees, losing everything.
Yeah, employees, everything. And then Microsoft grabbed it up. So
actually, and you know what? Huge kudos to the Xbox team and Microsoft team and Phil specifically, the head honcho, the man, the myth, the legend. And if he sees
Uncle
this,
Phil.
whatever, like him coming out and saying, this past week we've been on the phone and talking to Sony, saying they're a big part of this industry and Call of Duty is going to stay on there and we're going to, what do they say? Be respective on the contracts. Like that's a big. You know why? That is a big
got too
thing.
much shit to worry about.
Yeah, and I mean they didn't say that. They didn't say that with Bethesda
Diablo.
ZeniMax, and now it's that's actually a big. That's a huge kudos to them
Game
over there.
Pass
And
about
we'll
to
see.
blow up, boy.
Oh my
Everybody about to have a
god,
Game
yeah.
Pass.
Call of Duty Game Pass. I mean, Game Pass literally just.
Think about playing World of Warcraft Game Pass for free. You got Game Pass to play
on
World of
PC,
Warcraft. For
yeah,
free.
like how is that
Think about
gonna?
that shit. $15 a month. Why not circle it back to Microsoft? I'm just saying.
I really wish I was a fly on the wall for the employees that have been dealing with everything horrible that Bobby, whatever the hell is, I don't want to even say his name,
needs to get
said.
the hell out.
When
But
they got
again,
that
he will
news,
be. It
when
just
they
takes
got
time.
that news, I wonder how happy they were for it. If they were happy, like it's this weird thing, like
I'm pretty
right?
sure they were.
Yeah.
Think about it. Mergers like that, takeovers like that don't happen overnight. I was explaining that to my chat.
Oh,
that
yeah,
It
absolutely.
was 2 years in the making, and they were just waiting for the right moment to do it. And the right moment showed itself. But it's a really good time. It's a really good time to be a Microsoft fan. I'm a fan of all creative, that treats their employees correctly. And looking at that board, all those women up there, looking pretty good. They can use some more diversity, but they have 4 people in there that are from different backgrounds. Yay, they can do better, but this is a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer ain't gonna put up with no bullshit.
No, he's not. I feel like when
CEO of Microsoft Gaming, I like how they changed that name. Not just Xbox anymore. So
it's gaming. It's everything because they're going into the cloud now. They're doing
Xbox
PC.
system might be slapper, bro. It's gonna be interesting. And so
We're talking about next gen when we don't even have next gen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should come out with a computer system where we could just expand on it and stop buying new systems. But anywho, we gotta go. We out of here.
Yeah,
have a good day, everybody. Thanks very much.
Who do you
can
think?
find me at twitch.tv/technique.
Talk about that next week.
Find me at Twitter at Technique TV. Matt, you want to?
What do you got going on this week? Streaming, gaming.
No, I'm thinking. There's Pokemon is on Friday.
Are you playing it?
I have it. I mean, I have the physical copy coming. It looks like it looks really bad from the screenshots I've seen. But I think people are honestly photoshopping these things. This is the same thing happened with Sword and Shield. People hate new. The fans hate new. But the screenshot I saw looked like Nintendo 64. Ain't gonna lie. But whatever. I still got it. I still play it. I'll still check it out. Oh yeah, Rainbow Six Extraction. Excellent game. If you don't have it, get it.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you played it. May have forgot a date or two,
over
but
20 hours in it already. Super good.
Dude, that's awesome. I like those type of Left 4 Dead games. Yeah. So.
It's not Left 4 Dead.
Well, you know what I mean. That
like the
teamwork
horde?
going through hordes, all that stuff. So, but yeah, as far as this week go, obviously Frank said, you know what your homework is. It's just a lot of geekdom from Eternals to TV shows to catch up on. We'll be back again next Saturday, which will be the 29th. At 12 p.m. Sorry, once again, we were a couple of minutes late today. Technical difficulties with some updates and things like that. But we'll be back. My name is Nighthawk. I'm on the Nighthawk Plays, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. As far as this week goes, kind of like Frank, I'll be playing Pokemon on Friday. We're going to be doing a bunch of different games this week. Most likely, though, a lot of Super People. and drinking a lot of coffee.
Yep.
Yeah, and make sure you check out our Twitter if you haven't yet. We've had a nice meeting the other day with a bunch of people over at WearDrop and everything. We're going to be utilizing that a lot more now, getting some content out for you, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. You're going to see our lovely faces everywhere. Him more than me, because, you know, this just doesn't work. But yeah, Frank, I love you, man. To everyone out there, thank you for coming by. Make sure you follow. Make sure you check us out. We'll be back again next week at 12. My name is Nighthawk Plays. That handsome gentleman over there is Technique. We'll see you next week, boys and girls. Bye.